لو سمحت بدنا نروح لورا لو سمحت طريق
وانا معي مرض بدي عمليه بقلبي ومعي السكر يعني
لا علاج انا ابوها بالمانيا انا بدي اطلع لعنده عشان اكمل لها علاج. اي واحد
I'd like to thank the Greek government as well as the Greek people who, despite the last 6 years of economic hardship, have shown remarkable kindness and empathy with the refugees landing at their borders and at their shores, much like the Jordanians have done over the past few years, opening their hearts and their homes to our Syrian neighbors. I'm fully aware how much of a challenge this crisis presents to Europe. It is a tremendous challenge, and I would like to just remind everyone of what His Holiness said just a few days ago when he reminded us that refugees are not just numbers. They're human beings like you and I, except that they have seen unspeakable horror and have experienced unthinkable tragedy and hardship. They've risked everything, their families, their possessions, just to make it to safety. And listening to the stories that I heard today and meeting many of the refugees, I think it's impossible to really understand the magnitude of this crisis until you come face to face with it. And it's very difficult for me to decide which story is more harrowing than the other, because each one seems to be an incredible tragedy. These people have gone from suffering to suffering, and the one thing that I keep hearing time and again is that if they had a choice, they would be back in their homes, that this was the last resort, and some of them have held out to the very, very end after their towns and homes and all their possessions have been destroyed, and then decided to leave.
She just gave birth to babies.
طيارة وفوق بدنا نعمل لجوء هون بس أنا لوحدي.
The responsibility for this crisis cannot be defined by geography. And I believe that we have to bring humanity and compassion back into the narrative. Because at the end of the day, this is a crisis about human beings, not about borders and barriers. It is about human dignity, not about deals. And I know that many of the humanitarian agencies that I have seen have expressed deep concern about the EU-Turkey deal. Many have questioned its morality, whether it's humane, whether it's ethical. And I think the deep concern here is that many of the refugees who will continue out of desperation to seek safety and security will now start to seek more dangerous routes. And already we have seen alternative routes to Europe being expanded. So it's absolutely crucial for us to look for legal alternatives and more safe and effective pathways to Europe and to areas of safety. And it's important to also look for more sustainable, long-term solutions to this crisis. Because at the end of the day, we can't just keep dealing with it as a temporary situation. We all know that refugees spend a long time in refugee camps, and this can't continue.
في اهلي كمان والدتي كمان بالمانيا بس والدتي ما مشي حالي اطلع عندها لمشي من فوق السن القانون اما اخي بحسن اطلع عندي معين